Hello students. Today we are going to read about source of energy. So what is energy? Before learning about sources of energy, let's understand what is energy. Classical description for energy is the ability of a system to perform work. But because energy exists in so many forms, it is hard to find one comprehensive definition. In short, energy is the ability of a system to make things happen. It is a property of an object which can be transferred from one object or converted to different forms but cannot be created or destroyed. There are numerous sources of energy. It can be chemical energy, electrical energy, heat or thermal energy, mechanical energy, nuclear energy, and energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation, that is light. Sources of energy contain energy in them if forms that cannot be used directly, but living organisms require energy to stay alive. Therefore, you must unlock this energy to get work done. Humans get energy from food, which has this energy stored in form of chemical energy. Your body absorbs this energy and food and burns them into fuel your body so that it can run around and have fun. So, a candle has a lot of chemical energy, but it has to burn for it to be useful. This conversion of chemical energy to yield heat and light energy is burning. Burning is a process of converting chemical energy to heat energy and sometimes light too. We must make one observation though. Energy seems to have a shelf life. If you keep a hot object out in the open, it will cool after a while. So, can you collect this energy back from the atmosphere? So, now we are going to understand the difference between renewable and non renewable sources of energy. So, renewable sources. So, the resources can be renewed or replaced are called renewable sources of energy. These resources do not cause any pollution to the environment. Renewable sources are inexhaustible and renewable sources are not affected by human activities. Best examples are renewable sources of air, water, and solar energy. What is non renewable sources? The resources that cannot be renewed once they are consumed are called non renewable sources of energy. These resources cause pollution to the environment. Non renewable resources are exhaustible and they are affected by human activities too. So, best examples of them are mineral, oil, and coal. So, what is natural resources, sources of energy? So, the natural resources around us provide a variety of sources of energy around us. During the Stone Age, it was wood. During the Iron Age, we had coal. In the modern age, we have petroleum and natural gas. So, how do we choose sources of energy? Good sources of energy should have the following qualities: optimum heat production per unit of volume by mass used, easy to transport, least polluting, and economical. Earlier, coal was used pretty much everywhere, from domestic use to steam engines, all the way to Titanic. One problem that coal faced was transporting large amounts of coal needed all around the world. Hence, now world over energy use is shifting towards either diesel or electricity. This example shows how petroleum is better against coal on all the above parameters. There are two types of sources of energy classified by their popularity and use. These are conventional sources of energy and non conventional sources of energy. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is an energy that is produced from natural processes and continuously replenished. Few examples are sunlight, water, wind, tides, heat, etc. So, the existence of renewable energy resources is spread over to a wide geographical area in comparison to the conventional energy resources, which are often concentrated to a limited number of countries, like the oil and gas, are mostly concentrated in the Middle East countries. The use of renewable energy resources in energy generation is resulting in less pollution and has a significant effect on economic benefits and energy security. So, what are the examples of renewable energy? So, we have wind energy, solar energy, geothermal energy, hydropower, and biomass. So, sources of renewable energy. The sources could sustain for a long period of time and easily be renewed often. Sustainable resources are biomass, nuclear power, geothermal, wind energy, solar power, tidal power, and wave power. The sources of renewable energy are known to be less polluting, and therefore the whole world is looking forward to new carbon emissions norm where carbon will play a major role in developing new factories and industries. So these are some graphical pictures which shows solar energy, wind energy, and hydroelectricity. So now if we discuss about renewable energy in detail, solar energy is the energy we get from the sun. The radiant light and heat from the sun is harnessed with the use of solar collectors. These solar collectors are various types such as photovoltaic, concentrated photovoltaic, solar heating, CSP, concentrated solar power, artificial photosynthesis, and solar architecture. So, wind energy. So, the energy which we get from the wind is called wind energy. For this, we have been using windmills for hundreds of years. Hydroelectricity. So, hydroelectricity is the energy which is generated using water. According to the statistics, hydroelectricity generated around 16.6% of the global energy resources and constituted about 70% of all the renewable electricity. So this energy is another alternative source of energy that is generated usually by constructions of dams, reservoirs on flowing water. So in that case, the kinetic energy is converted from the flowing water and is used to run the turbines which generate electricity. What is geothermal energy? So it is energy that is generated from the thermal energy which is stored in the earth. Heat energy is captured on sources such as hot springs, volcanoes, and heat is directly used by industries for heating the water and other purpose. Bioenergy. This type of energy is derived from the biomass, which is a type of biological material derived from living organisms and plant derived materials, which are called lignocellulosic biomass. Biomass can be directly used via combustion to produce heat, and indirectly, it can be used to convert to biofuels. So, here is a flowchart which shows the difference between conventional and non conventional sources of energy. What are conventional sources of energy? So these sources of energy are also known as non-renewable sources of energy and are available in limited quantity. Further, they can be divided into commercial and non-commercial. So commercial energy sources. So the coal, electricity and petroleum are known as commercial energy sources. So now we come to non-commercial energy resources. So generally the energy sources that are freely available are considered as non-commercial energy resources. Examples are uh, straw, dried dung, firewood. So some more examples are solar energy, wind energy and tidal energy. So we have already seen what these are in previous slides. So now we come upon the importance of reduce, reuse and recycle. So what do we mean by reduce, reuse and recycle of energy? So reducing and reusing products cuts down the manufacturing pollution, just as the use of recycled instead of virgin material prevents pollution in industrial processes. Saving money. Household can save money reusing materials and products and by practicing smart shopping habits that reduce waste. So why should we reduce, reuse or recycle? So reduce waste and reusing materials and products and recycling are some of the most powerful ways individuals, household and business can protect the environment. Reusing discarded products and using recycled materials to make new products. This will help us to reduce the pollution in the environment. So if we go in detail about what is reduce. So reducing the amount of waste you generate is a great step towards helping the environment. So there are several things that you can do. Use tote bags, binge shopping, say no to plastic shopping bag, select packaging that does not have a lot of excess waste, use dinnerware that can be washed instead of paper plates or plasticware. Only buy things that you will use in immediate future. So these are some of the steps. What is reuse? Many commonly discarded items from single-sided paper to clothing, televisions are readily reusable in their current form. Instead of tossing an item in the trash, uh, can or recycling bin, you can consider it to be used again. So what is recycle? The energy used to manufacture a good is a direct energy cost, but there are indirect energy costs too. The energy used to obtain raw materials for transportation, distribution, and even disposal of an item contributes to indirect energy costs. So direct and indirect energy costs are referred as embedded energy. The total amount of energy a product uses in its life, both direct and indirect energy costs, can be reduced through recycling. So this is all we have today for this topic. Thank you all students.